everyone, good night, or well, good morning if it is already morning for you. So this is my third update. Well, I'm recording this on the last day of June, so it's probably July 1st for you when you're watching this video. Well, most likely it would be by the time I post this. But yes, so I'm going to be giving you guys the latest on Beryl. I know that, many persons are unsettled. Maybe you can't sleep, and I mean, I can't either, and I got home from work not so long ago, so I thought, why not make an update to just let you know what is happening. So we've already been talking about this all day. You probably have been watching many other videos of what to expect from Beryl. So this is just me bringing you the latest as of 11 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. So we've got Beryl right there about to cross in. We've got that pretty decent band from the system making its way into the Windward Islands, unleashing rain. So some areas have already been experiencing rain. Those seas getting very unsettled offshore. And by the way, that's going to be a huge problem. Lots of coastal flooding impending for some areas. We're going to delve into that. In addition to Beryl, we have that next disturbance behind it with that high chance of development in that next tropical wave rolling off of Africa. Not marked as a disturbance to watch, by the way, but we have a new tropical storm. Tropical Storm Chris actually developed. Now, this was previously known as Invest 94L. And look at all this activity around Mexico. So I talked about the fact that, it could be a depression. It was designated Tropical Depression number 3. And then in the 11 p.m. update, it was upgraded to Tropical Storm Chris. So Chris is not going to be lasting very long. There is a huge rainmaker, no doubt. But in terms of, strengthening and all, it's moving inland. So strengthening is not anticipated of it. And it is very much disorganized right now. So as quickly as it comes on, it's going to dissipate that quickly as it moves into Mexico and is cut off from its source of fuel and energy from the warm waters of the Bay of Campeche. So let's now go ahead and talk about that next disturbance. Again, 70% chance of development could follow in Beryl's footsteps. And the next name on the list is Debbie. So it's no longer Chris. We've had 3 named storms now. So Debbie is the next name to be used. And we could have that storm, potentially a hurricane. Who knows? So not saying it will be a hurricane, but it is definitely a possibility. So by the end of this week, we could have a new tropical cyclone dealing with headed towards the Caribbean. But Beryl is the primary concern for now. So let's go ahead and talk about her. Here we can see her at a close view. And again, we've got that band of rain and an increase in winds as well moving into the islands already. Now, as we look at the radar here from the Barbados Meteorological Service, we can see some of these colors, these greens, yellows. So where we see those yellows and oranges popping up indicate the areas of heavier rain. So some decent rain has been moving into parts of Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, the Grenadines as well, and even a couple passing showers for Barbados and Tobago, a few spots in Trinidad as well. But there we can see Beryl, the eye of the hurricane, the major hurricane, a Cat 4 monster, and a lot of rain wrapped all around it. So it's going to be moving in with its very life-threatening impacts. Matter of fact, let's go on to this. The key messages, let's read through. Number 1, Beryl is expected to remain an extremely dangerous major hurricane when it reaches the Windward Islands tomorrow morning. Maybe this morning. It depends on when you're watching and when this is posted, by the way. So this is a very dangerous situation, and residents in these areas should listen to local government and emergency management officials for any preparedness and or evacuation orders. These preparations should have been completed today, as significant impacts will begin tomorrow morning. Or this morning, again, depends on when you're watching, the time you're watching. And then number 2, potentially catastrophic hurricane force winds, a life-threatening storm surge, and damaging waves are expected when Beryl passes over portions of the Windward Islands, with the highest risk of the core in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada beginning early Monday morning, and hurricane warnings are in effect for much of the Windward Islands. So the areas under a hurricane warning, we got Barbados, Tobago, Grenada, the Grenadines, St. Vincent, and St. Lucia. Then number 3, Heavy rainfall and localized flooding are expected across the Windward Islands through Monday. And number 4, Beryl is expected to remain a powerful hurricane as it moves across the Caribbean Sea later this week. A tropical storm watch is in effect for portions of the southern coast of the Dominican Republic and Haiti. Interests elsewhere in Hispaniola, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and the remainder of the northwestern Caribbean should monitor its progress, and additional watches and warnings will likely be required this week. So as we look at the cone forecast, we can see all these different highlights to show the hurricane warning. For example, in that red, tropical storm warning in blue, that's for Trinidad and Martinique, and then the tropical storm watch for Dominica, and then the southwestern part of the Dominican Republic, as well as the southern coast of Haiti. And I'm expecting that by tomorrow, Jamaica may be under a hurricane watch. So it's going to be close by. The cone has shifted a bit closer to the island now. It's been shifting around, adjusting here and there. So we could definitely have hurricane impacts in Jamaica as we head into late Tuesday, headed throughout Wednesday especially. So that is going to be when Beryl is going to be at its closest approach to the island, and it is likely to unleash a lot of heavy rain, those hurricane force winds, the storm surge as well, with seas well over 20 feet. And for the Windward Islands that are going to be facing impacts now, seas could be over 30 feet. So there's going to be that storm surge coming in. The winds off Beryl, those very powerful winds pushing all that water on shore. So lots of coastal flooding will be likely. And the heavy rain, especially for those vulnerable areas, they will be inundated. It's pretty likely, guys. And then with the winds, there's likely to be damage to weaker homes or buildings, down trees or uprooted trees, down power lines as well. So it's going to be quite the story. And I mean, again, as I mentioned in a previous update, you know, many of you have been talking about how similar this is to Ivan. It brings back memories of Ivan. It's likely to be something that is going to be quite similar as we head throughout this morning. So conditions will only continue to deteriorate or worsen as we head throughout the morning. And then this is a look at the tropical storm force wind speed probability. So as we head to the more vibrant shadings, the higher the chance is. So of course, kind of 100% for the Grenadines, Grenada and St. Vincent, even for Tobago as well, parts of Barbados. Then a very high chance for St. Lucia, going toward Martinique, probably up to a 40% chance or so. Then the chance gradually gets lower for some areas such as Dominica, Guadeloupe, going to Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, ABC Islands, parts of southern Trinidad, sections of the Dominican Republic as well, but then that chance is pretty high for Jamaica, and I'm expecting that we may be in this purple shading, indicating a 90% chance of those tropical storm force winds. So even hurricane force winds. As I said, I'm expecting that we may be under a hurricane watch as we head into tomorrow. Now, Beryl, as we look back at the satellite imagery, Beryl looks as though it wants to undergo an eye wall replacement cycle. So as suggested by the name, it's basically when we have that old eye kind of collapse and then a new one develop. But when that happens, the system may grow, but it may also fluctuate in intensity, meaning that it could get weaker. But once the cycle is complete, sometimes we see the intensity just go up so quickly. So rapid intensification may occur as a result of an eye wall replacement cycle. Nonetheless, as Beryl is going to be heading into the Caribbean, it will encounter some more unfavorable environmental conditions, which will likely induce weakening of it. So it is going to get weaker gradually, but for now it is going to remain a very powerful hurricane, even if should say 5 miles per hour drop off and it is back down to a Cat 3. Still a powerful hurricane, still a major hurricane out there, and a record-breaking one at that. So again, guys, those impacts are going to worsen for the Windward Islands as we head into throughout the morning, throughout the day really. And then the next area that could be a bullseye for Beryl, or somewhat of a bullseye, is probably going to be Jamaica, where hurricane impacts will be possible. Those pretty strong winds, the heavy rain, the storm surge, coastal areas being inundated with all of that water. And then the Cayman Islands should also be on watch for this, especially Grand Cayman. And then, of course, we will have the vicinity of Mexico. So those are going to be the areas to keep watch on the system as we head throughout the week. It's going to be a pretty long week because as Beryl is going to be making its way in, we're going to have that next disturbance, which most models are showing developing at least into a tropical storm. But I will continue to keep you posted. I mean, this is the third video I'm recording for the day. Even if it's not posted today on the 30th when I'm recording, even if it's the 1st of July, I mean, I've been quite active today. I've been doing so much. But, that is what I love to do. I love to ensure that I keep you guys posted. So that is what I wanted to share with you this morning. And I really do hope you found this update to be informative. But if you do have questions, please, I'm here. Leave them in the comments. I'll respond to you when I get the chance to do so. Maybe later in the morning if you don't see me respond in a prompt manner. Because, it's been a long day for me. Got to get some rest and stock up on some energy for tomorrow because it's going to be lots of track and Beryl. So yeah, that's it for now, guys, and I do hope that everyone is safe and everyone will safely ride out Beryl as well. So, do enjoy the rest of the day, even though it may not be the most ideal day for you if you're under that hurricane warning. But, hopefully everything goes well. And remember to always be weather-wise.